Here in Los Angeles, Perez Hilton returns. Celebrity blogger, judge in the Miss USA pageant. He's openly gay and supports gay marriage. In Washington, D.C. is Dennis Prager, conservative radio host of the Dennis Prager Show. He is opposed to gay marriage. We'll start with Dennis. What do you care, Dennis, what people do? Gay people want to get married.
I totally understand it, and in fact, my sympathy is completely with them. It's exactly what one would want. I fully understand. The question in these matters is not, though, what does compassion demand, but what is the definition of marriage? Every religious and non-religious tradition, every major moral thinker in history, not one of them in any tradition has ever advocated for changing the definition of marriage to same sex. I would like children to be raised to believe that when they grow up, they will get married, and that they are not asked when they are 6 or 7 years old, will you marry a boy or a girl? I think that there is enough sexual confusion in the life of children not to add that. I want gays to have every right. However, redefining marriage is not called for.
Perez, what's wrong with a civil union? No word of marriage, but a civil union.
Why? Well, first of all, I'm talking about civil marriage, not religious marriage, and I should not have to settle for anything less and unequal than what everyone else is getting. You know, marriage has been redefined in the past, and it should be redefined again. Well, in the past, this country did not allow people of different races to marry, and now we do. And we look back at the time when it was illegal, and we say, wow, I can't believe that was the case back then.
Dennis, how about changes? Blacks and whites couldn't marry in Alabama, and that was their definition of marriage.
That is absolutely right, and that was never the value of any religious tradition or any non-religious tradition. That was racism. And there's no comparison between the two for one incredibly important reason. There is no difference between people of different races. There are immense differences between people of the two sexes. The notion that sex and race or gender and race are parallel is invalid. There is no difference between a black human and a white human. There are enormous differences between a male human and a female human. We allow Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. Is that the same as Black Scouts and White Scouts? Of course not.
Are you saying, Perez, that the definition has changed? Where have you seen this change?
Well, in several states that recently now do allow same-sex marriage. There are over 1,000 rights, privileges, and protections that come with marriage, which gays and lesbians should have access to. I don't want to feel like a second-class citizen in America, and I'm not asking to get married in a church. I'm asking for the United States, my state of California, to no longer institutionalize discrimination.
Why can't we separate it, Dennis? Civil marriage is different than religious marriage. And civilly, let's say, a couple can marry who are both of the same sex, but not in a church or a synagogue.
Well, first of all, the civil marriage is the way we define marriage in society. What religions do is their business, and what does a secular person do? So you can't separate them. There is a marriage that is done in churches, which is totally a church matter. The society doesn't recognize church marriages necessarily. I got married in a synagogue. The society doesn't recognize that marriage. It recognizes it as a civil marriage because the rabbi was confirmed by the state of California as one who could do a marriage. Religious marriage is entirely a separate issue, as it should be in a country that separates church and state.
I agree. I'm not talking about religious marriage. I'm talking about equality, the principles that this country were founded on, that we all should be treated equal.
Right, but not the same. Yes, treated equal, but not the same. We're not the same. Male and female aren't the same. Why do you allow, Perez, I'm curious, do you think it is, wait, please allow me to ask you, do you believe that there should be Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, or is that separate, is that also separate and equal, and therefore not allowable?
I believe that men and women are the same.
No, you're not answering me. Tell me.
Both have equal intellect. I think that both equally should have... Explain yourself again, please, because I believe that I'm the same as my sister. We may have different body parts,
if you only think
and make equal contributions to society.
Perez, I actually respect your intellectual honesty here. See, a lot of people I debate on this acknowledge that men and women are profoundly different. Perez thinks that we are, except for body parts, identical. If you believe that, then it doesn't matter what gender you marry. But if you acknowledge that men and women are profoundly different, that a mother can give something to a child that no two men can give, that a man can give to a child something no two women can give, then you want to retain marriage as specifically male-female.
Well, I think that marriage as an institution is great for families. And when you deny gay and lesbian couples the right to marry, you are hurting American families. Is that what you want to do? Do you want to hurt American families?
No, but I would like the family to be based on the most important institution we have in society, marriage, where given that 97% of society is straight, I don't think we need to redefine marriage when we can be fair to gays and give them all the rights that married people have without redefining the term so that little kids will have to be asked. I'll give you one example. Here. eHarmony is a company that matches people together. They were forced by gay groups in court to they have no choice. They must allow people to seek people of the same sex. Why can't we have the freedom to have a singles meeting place where men meet women and have gays allowed to meet on their own places on the internet? Why
you
force
favored the eHarmony ruling?
Did I or Perez?
You.
No, of course it's not right. If a company wishes to match men and women, it should be allowed. And if a company wishes to match men and men, it should be allowed.
But you said also that you have compassion.
I do. I absolutely.
But that would be a door shut to them.
Yes, it's a door shut to them in the same sense that there are places that want to appeal to gays that is shut to me as a straight. People should be allowed. There are competing goods here. There is compassion on the one side, and there is freedom of association on the other.
Hold it.
I think it has nothing to do with compassion, and it has everything to do with equality. You know, for example, if I wanted to go to your country club, but they said no gays allowed, do you think that's fair?
No, that would not be fair. But if my country club was for men, or there was a women's country club, I think that is fair. I think it's okay for men to be with men. I think it's okay for women to be with women.
I think it's okay for men to be with men as well.
I'm sure
I think
that's
it's okay
true.
for men to marry men.
I thought we'd solve this tonight.